the silver speculators, like I've said in other videos, will pick up on that trend and they will start buying up, the silver ETF or futures contracts, and that will in turn um, um, ignite a rally in the silver. It's Friday, November 22nd, and today, after I show you the account, I want to talk about trade a little bit, trade speculation, and also a little bit about uranium, maybe. We'll see. I just really got to update you on what's been going on with the account. It is down a little bit over a grand since the all-time high. Well, about a grand, not too bad. I could have been gaining more. I'm definitely losing to the market right now, but hopefully it's temporary, and I'll be able to regain my lead at some point soon. So let's just go into it, right? So here's the account. It is sitting at 74,259 and 87 cents. This is the week chart. The week chart, I'm actually down 1.5%. Okay, so it's been a very negative week for me, unlike the overall market. I think that I'm finally losing to the market in the week chart. This is the 3 months, year, and the year is 43% almost up. And there's the all-time chart. This is what it looks like. Okay, so definitely losing, I think, on the week, 1.47%. If I go to the SPY, the ETF, exchange traded fund that follows the S&P 500 market index, the week is about negative 13.13, sorry. So I'm losing a little bit over 1% to the market. Mainly it's because of my bad Apple plays. So that's probably the main reason. Now, quickly going through the account, AXK was about even, up $18. Apple negative $14, which is a very low number. It's basically even. I think I actually gained a little bit on the options play. Let's see, so plus $27 on the options, minus $14 on the equity itself, which is extremely low numbers considering how big of a mover Apple's been lately. Moving on, everything else is really small movements. Let's see, all the way until we get to the uranium, and now Cameco's down $144 today. And this is the big event here. It's sitting at 946. What that means is that I'll be exercising 3 puts, 3 $9.50 puts. I don't think they're showing here today because they're going to be exercising. So what that means is that I'm going to be purchasing 300 shares worth of Cameco at $9.50, which is a little bit above the current price. But of course, I'm getting him at a discount because of the premium that I have collected for waiting. I've sold 3 puts, right? So I've collected probably about 15. I don't want to go back and look right now, but it's about $15 each. Which means it's the equivalent of getting them at $9.35. So if I just sell right away, I'll just be collecting the premium and of course gaining some money on that trade, getting paid for my time to wait. But I'm not gonna do that. Of course, I'm gonna sell calls against the new shares and collect more premium because that's what's up. That's how we make money, right? That's how I make money. Now, this is the week performance for Cameco, just to contrast the overall count. You can see a lot of it, the negative activities coming from here. It's down 1.05%. This is my second biggest holding. This is the month chart and 3 month chart of Cameco. This is the 1 year chart. It's down 20%. Now, I'm okay with that. I'll be happy to collect more Cameco shares, especially considering that the dividend is coming in soon. And I want to have a lot of those mining companies like Russian market, RSX, a little Freudian slip there. I was thinking about oil, and Cameco and some of these. I don't have any junior gold mining stocks, but they do their dividend annually as well, the GDXJ. So you might want to look into holding that whatever the ex-dividend date is. The ex-dividend date, what that means is that it's the date that you have to be holding the instrument or equity, and after that you're going to make sure that you have. I'm not saying this right, am I? You're going to you're insured to receive a dividend if you hold that instrument by that date. That's the ex dividend date. If you want to know what the ex dividend date is for your specific quote stock or index, you want to make sure that you look that up in the prospectus or just search it on Google and you'll probably find out. Now that's uranium. That's Cameco. I'm happy to have Cameco at 946. That's great. I'll be selling calls and receiving more and more premium. Super happy about that. Now we'll look at this first. It's fitting that this headline is over here. U.S. stocks rise as China calls for better communication on trade. So the way I see it, this stuff is like completely insignificant. All this back and forth. Here's my speculation, right? So this is what I think is going to happen with the trade issues and, of course, the markets. I don't think anything's going to happen for a while. I think that the genius Donald Trump, you can take that sarcastically if you're against Donald Trump, or you can take it genuinely if you're pro Donald Trump, or if you're neither, like me, then you just take it for like whatever. So, genius Donald Trump, what I think he's going to do is that come election time, that's when he's really going to start talking up the China trade deal, right? It's just this one thing that he's holding over the markets that knows it's going to get a huge pop, or at least some kind of a pop upwards, if there's a resolution to these problems. All right, the China trade problems, the IP stuff, the tariff stuff. So he knows that if he removes these restrictions that he in part has placed, then the markets will respond positively, and therefore ensuring his re-election. Now, if things go sour, let's say he makes a deal now, the market's price all that in, and then the market starts grinding lower. He doesn't have any more aces up his sleeve to pull out come election time, so he might be a little bit nervous. So he wants to keep that. And he's probably going to prolong that into next year, up until like maybe a few weeks or something like that before the election. So that's my speculation. I think he's really playing the games. I think that Donald Trump is a very good politician. I don't like politicians, but if you want to take that as a compliment, that's fine. I think he's actually very intelligent, and but I don't necessarily, think that he's doing things to improve, the economy through his intelligent, maneuvers. Many people probably disagree with me on this, and that's totally fine. It doesn't really matter. That's just what I've observed. He's just very good at playing a game that I think shouldn't exist to begin with, which is this like political back and forth nonsense. So that's kind of the reason I'm talking about is because it relates to the markets. And the other thing is, I think the markets will start slowing down now finally, and I think that the silver speculators, like I've said in other videos, will pick up on that trend, and they will start buying up, the silver ETF or futures contracts, and that will in turn ignite a rally in the silver, and hopefully I profit from that, since I'm sitting on 5 contracts of SLV at the moment. I've bought 5 calls, and I want them to pay off. So I'm betting that this is going to happen, regardless whether there's a market slowdown or not. I think people will anticipate it, and therefore it will happen. There was an interesting trade that I heard about on the news, that some guy bet like millions of dollars that Apple is going to go down initially, then up into 2021. So that's a very interesting trade, because that's exactly what I think is going to happen to Apple, which makes me worried, because now there's more than one person thinks it's going to happen, and therefore a lot of this thought process might already be priced in to the stock. So I'm a bit worried about that. but I'm gonna play it anyways because that's just what I think is gonna happen, and it's gonna take a little bit more than just this one trader to convince me otherwise. I might have to start listening to news a little bit more and try to figure out what the overall sentiment is and what's priced in and what's not. So I like to not. I like to take into account the sentiments. All right. Well, with that said, I think I'm gonna keep it nice, short, and sweet today. I've updated you on the account, giving you my thoughts of what's going to happen in the markets, and especially in the silver market. I think markets are probably going to grind down lower, but I wouldn't bet against them because I know that Trump has that card in his back pocket and he's just going to agree to anything that China says in the last moment. He's probably talked about that already, and with them, and when the right timing comes, he's going to remove all tariffs and then claim victory, right? Because now both economies are going to be better off because tariffs is a horrible idea. And then with that victory, markets are going to rally, and then China, of course, is going to be able to claim victory as well, and it's going to be great. Back to free markets, and the markets will actually skyrocket. There's going to be a huge boom. Whether or not that lasts long or not, I don't know, but that's just my speculation, and I wouldn't bet against that speculation. All right, I think that's about it. Probably the next video is going to be on Monday. This video log is shorter than most, but it's just been pretty busy, and quite frankly, I haven't had enough time to think of a good topic to make a more in-depth educational video on this, but I definitely wanted to put one out there and at least update people as to what's going on with the account. All right, I think that's about it for now. Peace out.